Delicious in Dungeon food gets pretty wild, but I think we can make some of it come to life, especially this holy water that Senshi makes to fight off all the demons and ghosts. That was pretty good. But the holy water reminds me of one dessert in particular, and that is Vietnamese style che, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's a sweet dessert-like soup that involves coconuts and some fruits and things like that, which we are going to use. The reason is because my goal is to actually make anime food that I would serve in a future food truck or in a restaurant. But we still want to make it really, really good and look as true to life as the anime as possible with a few caveats. So we're gonna do our best. We have some science to work on, and this is gonna be an experiment for me and for you. So buckle up, let's do this. Normally, Vietnamese style che would involve coconut milk as the primary liquid, but years ago in Las Vegas, I had a clarified milk cocktail. And since Senshi's holy water soup looks somewhat clear, we're gonna clarify some milk. Admittedly, I have never clarified milk before, so this is gonna be an experiment, but the principle is simple. We're gonna take 3 parts milk, so I have 475 milliliters of milk. Something like whole milk works best here, just good old whole milk. Why am I even pouring it in here? I don't even need to put, I know how much I have. So 475 milliliters of milk and about 150 milliliters of orange juice. In this case, I'm using orange juice because it has a pH level of under 4. This means that anything more acidic might actually curdle the milk too hard. So things like orange juice or lemon juice work really, really well in this application, and it gives it a ton of flavor, so you may as well just use the orange juice anyways. Okay, that was not enough juice. I'll go orange though. I guess alternatively, I could have just bought orange juice, you know. Now the only 2 things you really need to make the clarified milk are the milk and the acid, and in this case, it's just the orange juice. Oh! Spilled my milk. Now I'm gonna be heating up the milk just a little bit. We actually don't want this too hot. We want it like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The other thing I'm gonna have on standby is some citric acid powder. The reason for that is because if the orange juice isn't acidic enough, we can add just a small amount of this to help curdle the milk. And if you like experiments like this, I'll leave a link for my second channel down below, which is just called Paul Kyriakos, where I dive into some of the most viral recipes on the internet, and I deep dive into cooking experiments. Okay, I just wanna temp this. What are we at? Oh, we're already at, okay, we're already at 90, but this is like 10 degrees off, so it's actually not too bad. We don't want to heat this up too much, right? Let's just do the finger test. Yeah, that's warm. That's good. Now we add in the acid or the orange juice in this case and just kind of stir it. And it should start to curdle. I actually don't know. I haven't made this before, you know? So I hope this actually works because I don't have any more milk. Now turn it back on to really, really low to get it just nice and warm. I don't think these oranges were acidic enough. After like eating 2 or 3 of those halves that I had, didn't give you that, you know, when you eat something sour and like the back of your little, like back of your mouth right here just kind of shrivels up. Yeah, it didn't feel like that. If you don't have citric acid or orange juice or lemons or whatever reason, you can also use vinegar. That works well too. All we're trying to do is separate the curds and the whey. I want the whey. That's all I want out of here. While this is working, I want to tell you guys about Cooking with Chaos, my brand new infinite recipe card system.
Are you tired of flipping through huge cookbooks?
I know, and my hands and the pages get so sticky. Don't worry, I have the solution. You need Cooking with Chaos, the brand new infinite recipe card system that lets you mix and match different cards to make a new meal every single time. Just combine a protein, sauce, and side card to make new dinners every single time. Wow, that's rad! What does this number do? That's the D20 mechanic. All you have to do is roll a 20-sided die for each category and make a new dinner every time. Don't get stuck in the past and start Cooking with Chaos today.
Pre-order today for a special first edition with bonus cards. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to cookingwithchaos.gg today.
So I've been simmering this for about 7 or 8 minutes now. So this is taking longer than I had anticipated because maybe my heat wasn't right, or maybe because the orange juice wasn't acidic enough. So now that I'm seeing that there's not enough curd formation, let me show you what I mean by that. It kind of is getting like, you could see it's like there's like little baby curds. It's not good enough. So I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid to this with the heat off, and this should hopefully help form the curds that we need. Oh, there we go. Immediately, 1/4 teaspoon. Immediately upon adding 1/4 teaspoon, it has separated. That's all it needs. You know, the orange juice just needed a little bit of help from its friend. Suspicious looking white bottle. But now that this is completely separated, we get to drain this. And this is the start of our holy water. This is exciting. I love this stuff. This is so much fun. Where am I going with this? Stop moving around with hot liquid. Now I may regret this later because I have 2 of these. This is fine. This is my standard coffee pour over thing that I use every morning for coffee. I am going to now strain this through this coffee filter. This might take a while, but it'll be worth it, I hope. Okay, it's not even taking a while. It's coming straight through, and look at how clear it looks. Oh, this is exciting. This is so cool. I thought that this process was actually overly difficult. When I had that cocktail and it had the clarified milk in it, I lost my mind. I was like, oh my God, how did you do this? It's like a magic. It's literally 2 ingredients. It's just basically making like a cheese. It's culinary magic. You know, Senshi is probably an alchemist on the side. He's a dwarf warrior alchemist who also has the cooking skill. It's an MMO. You can do whatever you want. But now what do I do with this stuff? There's the curds left over with the orange pieces. Maybe we eat it. Senshi wouldn't want us to waste this, would he? It's not as clear as I thought it would be, so maybe we'll have to strain this again. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this to the side and I'm gonna let this just go. And we're gonna start prepping everything else. You know, technically, I have a degree in culinary science. It's what they put on my degree when I graduated culinary school. It's an associate's degree of culinary gastronomy? No, literally culinary science. I'm a scientist. I had a 4th grade teacher who called me Paul the Mad Scientist Karyakos. Little did he know I would just go on to cook. Now I'm a scientist in the kitchen. Mr. Cole, if you ever see this, I hope you're doing well. You know what? I'm gonna squeeze all the juice out of here. Oh God, that's hot. Oh my God. I forgot how hot it is when you make cheese. This is technically not cheese because there's no tannins in it, but it kind of looks like cheese. Put salt action on there. This is what we like to call a side quest, my friends. See what this tastes like. Tastes like cottage cheese. Wow. Yeah, not throwing that away. That's good. You ready? Side quest montage. Not good. Now in the anime, Senshi had used gems to kind of lively up the soup. Those gems may have been from bugs, may have been from other dungeon creatures, but in this case, we're using something a little more realistic. Now you could make your own candy molds if you want to for this, but I want to try to keep it in between reality and fantasy. So I'm still going to be using some of this stuff. This is what you would find in a normal Vietnamese style che, and I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. What I've also realized is they only really come in this size can. This is why when my friends make it for me, they give me like a gallon of this stuff because it's just, you gotta use all of this. First up, jackfruit in syrup. Very sweet dish. This is why it's a dessert soup. Oh, that is fragrant. If you've never had jackfruit, it's fantastic. I actually really enjoy it. We don't need all of this syrup. I'm just gonna get rid of some of the syrup and then we'll store it in the syrup later. I'm guessing. We're gonna try a little piece. We're gonna try a little piece, you know? If you're not having fun in the kitchen, what's the point? Oh, that's just candy. That's just straight up candy. Put the syrup back in to preserve it. What was the point of that? I could have just taken it out of the doesn't matter. Next is longanberries. This is what they look like. Nice little white, delicious balls of fruit. I know. You wanna see what a longanberry is? Yeah, you don't like that. Next, coconut, young coconut, buko kina yod. I hope I also said that right. This is kind of like coconut shrimp. This is not coconut shrimp. Coconut strips. Could you imagine coconut shrimp in this? Not good. That's what that looks like. Look at those. They look like little worms. Oh, those look delightful. Next is ayu jelly. I don't even know what this is. I was just told to buy it. The first ingredient is water and the second ingredient is cane sugar. It's jello basically. Gandalf, you're making this very difficult, sir. It's jelly. That's definitely jelly. I'm just gonna like carve a chunk or two out of this. Just gonna. Oh, we're just gonna fillet this bad boy. Look at that. Oh God. Okay, it's everywhere. I'm gonna take this chunk, I'm gonna insert you back in the can for now. Now everything is green from the ayu jelly. And last but not least is toddy palm's seed slices in syrup. Everything's in syrup. Maybe it's a preservative technique. What does this one have in it? Water, toddy palm seed, sugar. Okay, there's actual like stuff in here besides water and sugar. This one also looks very close to the coconut, but more squid-like in texture and color. Does it taste like shredded squid? I hope not, because that's some Food Wars crap. Oh, that's delightful. A little crunch to it. I don't know what the flavor is, but it's not bad. I'm gonna be wired today from the amount of sugar in here. So these are our ingredients which are gonna represent the gems that go into the soup. This way, if I do sell this at a future food truck, we're keeping it traditional flavors, but with a little bit of a twist. Any day now, clarified milk. I think my milk has kind of stopped dripping. Oh man, you're gonna take forever, aren't you? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna double filter this now because we don't wanna wait 4.5 days for this to finish. We'd like to have this today. So here's the backup plan. So I'm gonna clarify it through here first. And then I'm actually going to pour the stuff I've already clarified through the sieve because it's not as clear as I would like it, but what this will help me do is remove some of the larger sediment first through this sieve, and then we can put it through a coffee filter one more time. So we're just gonna, one of these, open it up just a little bit so we can get some more drainage. Now I think I'm just gonna have to sit here. There we go. Gonna get a lot of that sediment out through this larger sieve. See if this helps a little bit. So now I'm gonna take a super fine mesh strainer and place that into here. This is literally turning into a science experiment and I'm all for it, you know? Now I'm gonna filter this through into here. And this should help clarify it just a little bit more. It's still a little more milky than I was hoping. It looked a lot more clear in a lot of videos that I had watched, but well, I think we'll get there. Because this is also catching some sediment. Not a lot, but little by little. I mean, it looks okay. It's just really milky. This is not as clear as I was hoping it would be. I wonder how this tastes though. I'm very curious. Oh, it has a milkiness to it. You can definitely taste the orange juice. That's really nice. Interesting. I'm gonna filter it again with a thinner filter this time. This one isn't like a triple ply filter like the normal one that I had used, so maybe this will help just a bit more. We're gonna try this a couple of times. I'm doing this as slowly as I can because I can't overfill the filter because this filter is not very big. No! I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Oh, come on. That was my last little filter too. This is the only filter I have left in house, so I'm just gonna have to use it. This time I am gonna get it a little bit wet first. Let's see if running it through the multiple filters has helped. We're gonna double filter this. I'm gonna take the original filter, the bigger one, and then I'm gonna filter it into the other filter, and we're just gonna have a filter on filters. Let's just see if we can get this going. It is filtering much faster though. We were getting just little drips here and there earlier, but it is filtering much faster. Let's see if this continues. Realistically, a recipe like this should take like 20 minutes because you just use coconut milk and you just have some fun. I have strained this 5 times over the course of 3 hours, and it's still not anywhere near as clear as I would like it to be. Now, as a chef, I also have to think, would I even serve this on a menu now? This is 2 cups of milk, which is not cheap, especially when you clarify it and you lose a lot of that volume. Is it worth it to try to go through with this? I'm gonna let this continue to strain, but I am going to work on a second recipe to see if it's more cost effective and if it gives us the same wow factor. So let's try that. For this second recipe, I have 2 cups of water. We're going water. It is holy water after all. Maybe this makes more sense. For 2 cups of water, I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of sugar, just regular old sugar. Once the sugar is melted, this is the easy part. I'm gonna be thickening this water with agar powder. I've used this to make things like Japanese jellies before, coffee jellies, things like that. And it actually works really well as a very clear thickening agent. If you use something like cornstarch slurry here, it'll actually make it super cloudy. So I'm using agar powder instead. And for every 2 cups, I'm using 1 teaspoon of agar powder. I'm gonna just mix this up and it's gonna keep it relatively clear. The whole goal of this was to make a clear soup. I think we can get there. Now this just needs to simmer for a few minutes and then we're gonna add the very secret ingredient, which was going to go in the clarified milk too, but we're gonna add it to this. Honestly, in hindsight, I was super excited about the clarified milk, but this is much more practical and I think it's gonna be just as good once it's done and we don't have to wait like 2 or 3 days to have it. Maybe this is why they also mostly use clarified milk in cocktails, because they're gonna charge you like $18 for that cocktail and they're using a very small amount of the clarified milk, not 2 cups of it per serving. Now the secret ingredient that was going to go in the clarified milk that I can still use for this is ube flavoring. This is used in a ton of different desserts around the world, and it's also purple, which kind of matches the color that Senshi had for his holy water he was making. The thing is though, is that a little goes a long way because this can make things black if you put too much. Look at how dark that is. So I'm literally using a chopstick to add some of this in here. Look at how little I put and you get that beautiful purple right away. Even Gandalf was excited to see this purple. I might do a little bit more and I hope I don't regret it. Gandalf, don't eat the agar powder. Another little dab. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I think we got there. Now bring this back up to a boil, let it thicken up a little bit. Now that this is simmered for about 5 minutes, I'm actually just gonna turn it off here and let it simmer and keep hot on the stove. Like not even a simmer, just keep it warm. Now the ingredient that has to go in this, but it's gonna be on the side, is still some coconut milk. The reason is that the coconut milk will actually make this really cloudy again. So we're gonna serve this on the side with another secret ingredient that I have for you. The next ingredient that we're using is gonna be pandan syrup. This stuff is delicious and it's used in a bunch of desserts as well, but it's also incredibly green. Like this is Ninja Turtle blood levels of green. I mean, it doesn't look green there, it just looks really dark again. But I'm gonna put it in the coconut milk. These flavorings are very strong, so you don't need a lot to go a long way. Now you have this really fun, milky green color. Looks like we just like juiced a leprechaun. Done, that's all you need. Just a little bit of heat, a little bit of pandan, we're done. Now we can actually plate this up. That's how much faster it was with Plan B than the clarified milk. Sometimes science doesn't work. Yep, still, you know, maybe I'll use it on the second channel. Here's where we're gonna have some fun. Finally, we could, it's been like 4 hours. I would like to try this. I'm gonna take some of my ingredients that are a little bit too big. I'm gonna cut them up and we're gonna put them into this jar. I'm gonna try to cut them in a way to where they still look like little jewels. It just means I'm just doing nice cuts basically. You know, just doing little dudes, just like this. What I'm mostly doing with this jelly soup is I'm trying to make sure that everything is really uniform and about the same size. I think some of the shredded coconut though, we can't put it in there because if you're gonna eat this with a spoon, it's actually gonna be very difficult to get this out. So let's cut it just a little bit. What's interesting is that this method actually makes a lot of sense to me, especially in the context of putting this into a restaurant. If you were selling enough of these, you could absolutely have jars filled with all of the filling and just add the liquid to it. That's all you really need to do. Honestly, that looks really pretty. I'd be pretty stoked if that came out to my table and this were maybe like $8 to $10 for a dessert. That'd be pretty cool. Now I want you to see the viscosity of our soup now from just adding a bit of that agar powder. This is what it looks like as I pour it out. It's almost like a wet or loose jello, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want. So now when I add it to this, oh yes, look at that color. That is gorgeous. Let's just fill this bad boy up. Keep in mind though, as agar gets cold, it starts to thicken. So if you're serving it this way, you need to pour it and then serve it to your guest right away and eat it. I mean, it looks pretty rad. Look at the layers of colors in there. The purples, the yellows, the whites breaking everything up, and the green kind of looking like gems and shimmering on the inside. That's pretty freaking cool. Realistically, I would just serve this in a bowl. I know that Senshi has one part in a jar and one part in a bowl, but I don't have a bowl that would do justice for how cool this looks in a glass. And if we want to get really fancy, you can put something like sterling silver luster dust right on top. This is edible sterling silver luster dust. And we're gonna do just a little right in here, and then we're gonna press it in. This way, we'll get little bits of silver into our liquid. It's almost like there's a little galaxy hiding in your glass. That's super fun. Man, I am all over the place with this recipe today. But if I were to serve this, I'd be serving it with a side of my coconut milk pandan flavor. That way you kind of get the best of both worlds. Maybe the way Senshi had served it in a way I would serve it. I'm gonna just take a bite out of this. And it is already getting thicker because I've been letting it sit here for too long, but I'm just gonna go in. Oh, this is fun though. It kind of suspends everything in there, just like how you see it in the anime. So when you compare this to the anime version, because we use the agar powder to thicken the liquid, it's all kind of being suspended in there, just like you see the gems are in the actual anime. That is one effect that I wanted, and I don't think I could have done that with the clarified milk, so I'm glad I had a backup plan because that milk is just, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that milk. Here we go. This is my version of Senshi's holy water from Delicious in Dungeon. Cheers. Oh, it's actually not that sweet. Senshi dumps a bunch of sugar into his, and the fruits that I had bought came with a bunch of syrup, but it's actually not that sweet. It's a little warm, which it's supposed to be. It's a soup, right? But the traditional version that you would have, like the Vietnamese version, is served cold. But this is really nice. This is very different. This is great. Now let's try it with some of this. This is gonna look cool, hold on. Oh, no, that didn't look cool at all. Bam. Right in the center. Now we're gonna have, it like suspended itself in the center. You can't really see the green pandan coconut milk on the outside, but there's definitely some in there. Now I'm gonna try it with this coconut pandan. Cheers. Way better, completely different flavor. Oh my God, this is good. This is really good. Look at that bite. Yeah, you know what? If you're gonna make this, make it with the second method of the water thickened with the agar with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of ube flavoring. It goes a long way. Would I serve this at my anime cafe? Absolutely. I would love to make this. And if you wanna see where I opened up a free Food Wars cafe, click or tap right over here. My name is Chef PK, and remember, keep playing with your food.